Welcome, everybody, to the You Are Worthy Network. Happy Monday. Hope you guys had a tremendous weekend and got some rest and got to do some things that you wanted to do. But it's just great to be with you on a Monday. Hey, listen, I just want to say real quick before we introduce our special guest to you today that these interviews are so much fun for me. And I hope you guys are getting a lot out of it. Feel free to leave messages, post, comment on the interviews. Tell us how you like them. I'm getting a lot of feedback, but I'd love to hear what you guys think because we're doing this for our guest and we're doing it for you. So, with that being said, I get the privilege of introducing our guest to you today, Nicole Cowley. And I'm going to read you just a little bit about her, and then we will let her share. Um, Nicole is a transformational coach, certified hypnotherapist, and the creator of Unleash Your Inner Diamond. That's probably got your attention, right? Unleash Your Inner Diamond, her signature transformational experience for ambitious, high achieving women who are ready to rediscover themselves, rebuild unshakable confidence, and design a life that feels aligned, energized, and truly their own. Years ago, Nicole made the heartfelt decision to step away from a leadership role in her family's thriving, multi generational business to become a stay at home mom, a choice that was rooted in deep love and devotion to her children. But over time, like many women who give so much to others, she began to lose sight of herself. When her marriage unexpectedly ended without a path to repair it, Nicole was forced to face a life she hadn't planned for. She had no income of her own, no clear direction, and no idea who she was beyond the role she had poured herself into. What could have been her breaking point became the beginning of something extraordinary. Nicole chose to rise. She rebuilt her identity from the inside out, reclaiming her voice, confidence, and purpose along the way. That experience ignited her mission to help other high achieving women who may look successful on the outside, but feel disconnected, depleted, or unsure of what's next. Nicole's approach goes far beyond surface level change. She guides women through a powerful journey of emotional healing, identity reclamation, and inner empowerment, blending deep mindset work, movement, and advanced hypnotherapy to shift lifelong patterns at its root. Drawing from certifications in life coaching, health coaching, personal training, and hypnotherapy, she helps women release self doubt, reconnect with their worth, and rise into the next version of themselves, bold, clear, and fully alive. Her clients don't just feel better, they become who they were always meant to be. She is a founding member of the Los Angeles Tribune's Women's Journal and a sought after speaker known for her authenticity, heart, and ability to help women come home to themselves. Nicole's work is rooted in this truth. When a woman reconnects with who she truly is, everything begins to shift from the inside out. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, I gotta say, this sounds amazing. As a guy reading this, I'm like, wait a minute, you gotta broaden your scope of services here to some men too, because we need this also. But that's another subject for another time. Nicole, welcome to the You Are Worthy Network.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here. And I agree, men, we all need it, right? We all need these things. And I actually have been working with some more men lately too. So what you were saying is very, very true.
Yeah, men are just typically a little slower to, not all men, but a lot of men are slower to ask for the help and to
Yeah,
do the deep transformational work that's so often needed.
that's true. It is typical that way often. But I think it's changing. I think it is really changing.
Yeah,
So.
yeah,
Mm.
I agree with that. Nicole, tell us what part of the world are you with us
Sure.
from today?
Yeah, I'm coming in from Canada. I'm from Alberta in Canada, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I've lived here my whole life, and I'm very excited to be here. I'm a single mom to two awesome kiddos that are 14. My son Carson, 14, and my daughter Kenzie, who's 18. And yeah, and I get the honor of being able to do beautiful things like this with you here today, due to the work that I now do.
Well, and that's a whole nother level of admiration, being a single mom and having a thriving business. Not an easy juggling act for sure, but I know enough about you to know that those kids have always come first, right?
100%, always. They are my reason really for everything I do. They are I look at children and I always think, they come into this world this beautiful, innocent little people. And I think it's, in my opinion, in my belief, that it's our job to show them what is possible. And so they continue to also show me what is possible. And I'm
Mm.
very, very, very grateful to be their mama. That's for sure.
Yeah, and your kids are around. Well, actually, I have three, and two of my three are your kids' ages. So my kids are 18, 17, and 14. So I totally get it. And I
Yeah.
agree with you. It's like when they're younger, obviously you're teaching them the basics of life and manners and respect and don't do this and don't do that. And but as they get older, and hopefully we're getting a little wiser, it's amazing how much we learn from them. I totally agree with that.
100%. They reflect my teachings back to me all the time. If I'm not staying in my lane, or, the things that I have professed along the way, they're like, Mom, come on, you've got to believe. And so, yeah, and the other thing I believe with children too is what's beautiful is that they haven't had as many years of seeing things in the world to jade some of the way they see the world. And so they bring you
Mm.
back often to the foundation of what matters most: love, kindness, all of those things that they see easier than sometimes adults do.
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, I can be driving down the road, or we're stopping at a place to go at a restaurant or in a store, and you know my 14-year-old son will start to see something brewing inside my heart that's not very kind or not very godly, and he'll like, Dad, let it go. And I'm like, I haven't even said anything yet, but he knows me so well. He's like, don't do it, don't say it. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. And you know what, 9 times out of 10 he's right.
So I had the exact same experience. My son, I think he was around three or four, and I think I got mad at somebody when we were on the road. I can't remember what it was. And he's like, Mom, he goes, you have no idea what their day's been like. You do not know what they've been going through. So he said, you don't have to get mad, Mom. You do not. I was like, you're so right. You're so right.
Yeah, yeah, we just don't know what else somebody's day, what they're
That's
going
right.
through, what
That's
season they're going through. We just don't.
true. So true.
So tell us about your business. I think I certainly read, in the bio there about your signature program. Tell us all about that. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, so my signature program has been built out over the years. So it took many years of learnings and teachings and working with many people to really create what it is now, because I really do believe that, time does show you all the things that you need in order to serve at the best place you can. And so during my last 10 years, I've really taken in all my learnings, took the best out of everything I could get, and really wanted to help people have deep transformation in their lives. One of the things that is so important to my heart is that when people invest in themselves, because that, first of all, that's a challenging thing for many people, is to invest in themselves. And so when they say yes, I feel with everything in me that I want to have a program that really helps them actually get results and transform and do what they have signed up for. And so it's taken many years of finding, different formulas, things that work the best for everybody, getting to know what people need the most. And through that, and through incredible mentors, like I've had amazing mentors throughout the last 10 years, incredible mentors that have guided me with their incredible tools that they use. And so through that, I've taken all these different things to help people really have a deep transformation in identity. And so that's where I really work. I guess a lot of people would call me an identity reinvention coach because I really help people. They have dreams on their hearts. They have all these things that they desire and they want. But what really matters is what they feel is possible underneath those dreams and desires. And if they do not feel it is possible for them, although they really want it, very rarely will you get it. And so I really help them find out what it is that's been holding them back, who they truly believe they are, and what they would truly love. And we start to work on matching that identity that they need to actually live into that dream because I believe every dream carries an identity with it. And so I really help them achieve that so that the dream is no longer just a dream, it becomes the life that they actually live. And so that is what I do now through my Unleash Your Inner Diamond. I have a 12-week program that I put people through that. And from there, they also are often welcomed into a 6-month program called the Diamond Standard, where we take everything that we did in 12 weeks and even go deeper and it really becomes your lifestyle. And it's been I get to work with the most incredible people, but what's beautiful is watching these dreams come to life and actually with it when like it's in their relationships, it's in their jobs, within their health, all of those things, everything evolves when you really start to tap into your inner power of who you really are.
Wow. Okay. So I'll make sure I got that right. So Unlock Your Inner Diamond is the 12-week program. And then there's a follow-up that goes basically another 12 weeks after that.
6 months. It says
Okay.
6
Six.
months after that. Yeah, 6 months after
Okay.
that, after the 12 weeks, which is called the Diamond Standard.
Okay. So let me ask you this. I don't want to use the word assume, but I bet you in this transformational work that you're doing with your clients, there's a lot of reprogramming of the mind that's going on. Would that be fair to say?
100%. 100%. Yeah, a lot of reprogramming of the mind. You know, I use a lot of different modalities to do that. Hypnotherapy is one of them. Other methodologies that I use in there are, different embodiment purposes that we do so that we're not just saying we're going to go do something, we actually take action and become that. I get people moving their body. I feel that the body and the mind are so deeply connected. And so it's one thing to just work with the mind, but when you start to work with the body, you the body starts to like when you feel strong in your body you feel strong in your mind and the same thing goes the other way around when you're having great thoughts often you feel good and energized and so I work both things to give you really deep lasting transformation but yeah reprogramming and sometimes that sounds so almost scary reprogramming your mind but what it really is and when I talk about hypnotherapy because a lot of people actually have some scary thoughts when it even comes to hypnotherapy and it being mind control or being something outside of what some would say is the way they believe people should transform. And what I'd love to say about hypnotherapy is most of the time I'm just unhypnotizing people from thoughts of what they've had, what they thought was only possible, thoughts of themselves that weren't great. I just really use hypnotherapy to bring them back to who they always have been. Their light, their kindness, their heart. It's a way to remind them of who they truly are instead of the stories that have kind of plagued them over the time of who they really are not, yet they've told themselves many times that they are.
Deep, deep waters for sure.
Mhm.
I would you say it's fair that forgiveness has to have a role in this somewhere?
Oh, for sure. For sure. Deep compassion for ourselves and others. And I often, I often start talking about compassion for ourselves right off like right from the beginning when I work with people, because one of the bravest things to me that people do is take full responsibility for their life, like to take a look at their life and say, this has been working or this hasn't been working. And that is not an easy thing to do. I don't think it's an easy thing to say, that I've been doing this for a while, or I wish I could have done that, or whatever it is, to take a flashlight and look at our life and look at the patterns we've had or the results that we've had, can be really challenging. And so, right from the beginning, I think we have to be in deep compassion for ourselves. And the fact that we want to do more and be more should be highlighted so huge, because that is the growth. That's the part that's amazing. So, yes. And when you talk about forgiveness, I think, all of us, I don't think there's anybody I've ever met that haven't done things in their life that were not necessarily what they would have loved, or have done things that didn't truly represent who they really were, and have not felt bad about it. But if we don't let those things go and we continue to rehash the past, our past becomes our future. And that's
Mhm.
the one thing that I think is so important about forgiveness, is letting go of stories, letting go of a lot of the pain, and now taking a full responsibility of what I can create today going forward. Because the past, one of my mentors used to always say, the past is just like the water that's gone over you in the shower. It's gone down the drain. It's over. It's gone. You never to get back again. But the future is today. And whatever we decide today will change everything going forward. So, yes to forgiveness, yes to compassion, all of those things.
I love that. The water in the shower that's already gone down the drain. It's so good.
Yeah.
That is so good. So, do you have an estimate of how many clients you've worked with over the years?
Oh my gosh. Well, I've worked with so many people in so many different avenues, because I worked also in fitness for a long time in personal training. And within that personal training, I was always working on the mind, even though I didn't even know I was doing it at that time. A whole bunch of our groups would come together at the end. I always had everybody rest, and we do mindset work, and we do all these things that I was already just naturally doing. But it's in the hundreds for sure. And I think, now with speaking, um, I've been doing more keynote speaking. I've been speaking at a lot of events, which many times have thousands of people. And so I think, to say, I think it's touched maybe thousands of people, worked with hundreds of people. I think that's
Yeah,
where I'm at.
yeah, no, that's fair. Okay, so I've got a question for you and we haven't talked about any of these questions
No.
specifically, but this one will cause you probably to go a little deeper. It's a
Okay.
little unique of a question. So, when your clients come to you, I want you to do your best to describe in 3 words how they just a sampling of maybe how they feel before they work with you. And then I want you to think of a sampling of 3 words of how they feel after they've worked with you. Does that question make sense?
So makes sense. Great question. 3 words. Well, I think before they meet with me, one of the words I would say is stuck, like feeling very stuck. For some reason, I get a lot of people feeling guilty about like what they're feeling, like the sadness, or the not being fulfilled, or whatever it is that's in them, that they feel this like a bit of shame around that like, why am I not feeling what all the things I need to feel? So I would say a little bit of guilt on there, and then I would say hopeful, like they want to see something different. They are coming to me because they are ready in their heart to really live the way they believe so deep down they're meant to, but they just got a little lost along the way.
Okay. So we
Yeah,
have hopeful, guilty.
hopeful.
What was that first one?
And the first one was stuck.
Stuck.
Yeah.
Okay. So stuck, guilty, hopeful.
Yeah.
And then what would be the 3 on the other side of working
Oh
with
my
you?
gosh. So I would say that the first, on the opposite of stuck, would be expansive. Like they see possibility. They see so many things outside of where they were. So they are no longer in that box of like I can only do this or this is where I am. So expansive. um, the guilt, they've let go of that. They've let go of shame. They've let go of the things that have been weighing them down and now are in a state of huge self-love. So I really find that self-love becomes one of their like backbones of where they are. That they no longer feel bad for wanting more. They love that want more. They love it. They love that they are, and they're worthy of it. Just like in your thing, worthy of it.
Yeah.
Yes, they're worthy of it. And then the last one I said was, what was my last word on there? What was my last word? I used the three words were stuck,
Expansive.
guilt. No, on my first
Oh,
ones, when you asked me how they come, stuck,
stuck,
guilt,
guilty, hopeful.
hopeful, hopeful. And I think, after they work with me, they're not just hopeful anymore. They know that they can do things. They're not just thinking that I hope I can do something. I hope I can change. I hope I can, um, you know, get the health that I want, the relationships I want, the business I want. They're not just hopeful anymore. They know within their core that they can. And I think that's what's so different is that they now have this inner knowing that it's been within them all along, but they were often waiting for outside circumstances to change, and now they don't have to. They now know that their inner is going to create their outer.
So I love this. This is an exercise I learned to do with our nonprofit of before and after, and that's why I wanted to take you through it so that the audience hears the transformation that's taking. Because we're just given a sampling. There's many more adjectives we could use, but to go from stuck to expansive, from guilty to worthy, from hopeful, the word I would use maybe confidence, reassurance. Uh,
100%. Like deep confidence in themselves. 100%.
yeah.
I call it next level confidence because many of the women that come to me, and clients that come to me already have achieved a lot of beautiful things in their life. They really have. But something is waking up in them that this is their next level of confidence.
I love it. You can see the transformation just in those descript words.
Mhm.
Um, I'm trusting that, you've had years of developing this program, lots of trial and error. I'm sure beta along the way, learning people's pain points. Now you're helping hundreds of clients or have helped hundreds of clients. You're speaking on stage. You're as a speaker, which I understand, you're not getting to have those deep talks, but you're planting seeds with that,
Correct.
30 to 45 minutes you have on stage.
Right.
And so, you're riding a nice wave right now,
Mhm.
but these kind of programs and this kind of success, they don't come from without a wilderness or dark season. Would I be correct in saying you've experienced that?
100%. Yes, 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 yes.
Tell us about a time that you can remember and what you want to tell to the
Sure.
folks that your story, and this is what I always remind folks in the You Are Worthy Network, your story is not over yet, but you had to overcome some things, Nicole, to get where you are now.
Yeah, yes. And so my story started back around 10 years ago. I was a stay-at-home mom. And I had chose to be a stay-at-home mom. I had actually come from a family of entrepreneurs, and we had a beautiful business that my grandfather started, then my dad, and then me. And it was a chain of children's wear stores. And so before I got married, I was actually working within our company. I was the vice president of our company, and it was wonderful. I worked with incredible people. But at one point, we decided to close our operation, and it was actually me who had to decide that at the time, which was not an easy thing for me.
Mm.
It was that when you talk about guilt or talk about things that you hold, I felt a lot of that, and but I didn't know how to keep up what I was doing and be a stay-at-home mom or be a good mom is what I didn't know how to do both. And my mom had been a stay-at-home mom, and my mother-in-law had too, and So we ended up closing it. I ended up being home. And I will tell you that, like, I love my children so much. But I also had this desire in me to do more things outside the home. I love to create. I love to do, to help people. I love to do all these things. And I had been so busy before that time within our company that to do the 180 switch was a lot for me. And so the whole time though, I was with them. I was dreaming of some other things, and it was challenging at times. But within those 8 years, I went through quite a few things. I went through a really bad time of postpartum with my first daughter, which really was extremely challenging. Came through that though, and didn't have it with my son, which was a total blessing. Um, and then at the end of 8 years of being home with them, my husband came home and at one point and just said he no longer wanted to be married. And
Mm,
remember, like, I had given up everything to be home. I didn't have a job. I hadn't been working at all for 8 years. And I I tried everything and everything to try to save our marriage, and it was not going to be saved. And I had to start over. And so I looked at my two beautiful children, and I saw these little eyes looking up at me saying, "What's next, Mom? Like, what are we gonna do?" And I honestly didn't know. I had no idea. I was devastated. I mean, when you get to that point in your life where you've been home the whole time, you thought your life was going to go one way and it went a completely different way.
mm,
The rejection level was super high. I just felt like a shell of me, and so I did have to start over. And I was lucky enough to. I've always had incredible people in my life, and one of my friends was part of a direct marketing company, and she introduced it to me, and that way I could stay at home still with the kids, but I got to sell beautiful skincare. And so I started to do that. I really grew quickly, which was so lucky. I built a huge team, and what it did for me was it gave me some confidence to dream again. I wasn't dreaming at all before that, and it gave me confidence to dream again. And from that place, I started to think about how I really wanted to live out my life, and that's when I started to think about how I could really help people. I'd had so many conversations with beautiful, beautiful women, and during the skincare time, and I realized so many of them wanted to live these incredible lives, but just weren't living what they wanted to live. And so I had been a dancer my whole life, so I thought, you know what I can do? I know how to get people moving. I can take all my money from personal training or from direct marketing and become a personal trainer. And I was like, I can get people moving, and I know that can get them feeling well. And so I did that, and I started that. I was in classes with people, honestly, Steve, these people were so much younger than me. I was in these classes learning anatomy again, learning how to do all the things. But I came out and I trained somebody for free for a year just to learn it. And then I started getting a lot of clients, and it was a lot of fun. But one thing that happened all the time was that they would be amazing while we were working together. And then they would, start to drop off the second we weren't. And I'm like, why are they not getting long-term transformation? Why is this happening? Like
mm,
I wanted their lives to really change. And I kept looking at myself too all the way along, because even though it sounds like it just like step, 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 I was like emotionally like this, like all the way through. I was having to build myself up. I'd go take lows and then I'd come up and then lows and come up. And so I was like, what is going to make long-term transformation for me too? Like not just them, what is happening to all of us when we really want to have a change in our life? So I went back, I became a health coach, a life coach, and that worked. But until I discovered neuroscience, that's when everything changed, because I started to understand the way the mind worked. I started to understand the stories we held on our heart, the identities that we had kept. And I started to understand how important identity was to creating long-term transformation in your life, whether it was in relationships, whether it was in your health, whether it was in your business. That if you, at the core of you, did not believe you could have what you really truly did want, it just wasn't going to happen. And so I dove deep into that, learned it, started to apply it to my life. My life started to change so immensely, so immensely. And then once I started to apply it to my clients, along with moving their bodies and taking care of themselves, and now nurturing the mind, training the mind like I did the body, they started to get these incredible results, and life started to make sense.
Wow. So you definitely went through the ringer there for sounds like at least a couple of years, if not more. And I
More,
appreciate you being vulnerable. You said more,
more for sure.
more than a couple. Yeah,
Yeah.
an extended season in the desert sounds like.
Yes, exactly.
And I appreciate you being vulnerable because, there's that, like you said, looking at the kids and like, they're now looking at you
Hmm.
and what we're going to do. What's the plan? They may have not said it like that, but that's basically what they're asking you. They want to feel safe and protected,
Yeah.
and then you were honest about the rejection. But fortunately, your story was not over yet, and you bounced back stronger than before. And I want to encourage those listening, if you're having a season where you feel pretty hopeless right now and you feel unworthy, I want to be the first one to tell you today, you're not unworthy. You're the opposite. You're very worthy of love, respect, and success. And your story's not over, just like Nicole's story wasn't over. Nicole, where can people find you, learn more about you? We'll put all the pertinent information in the description when we're done, but where can people find you?
Sure. Thank you, Steve, so much. They can find me at my on my website, which is nextstepwithnicolerenee.com. They can also find me under Nicole Cowley on Facebook. I'm there a lot. On Instagram, again, Next Step with Nicole Renee. And on LinkedIn, Next Step with Nicole Renee. And TikTok, I'm on all of those ones, on all those places. And I also usually around once a month or every 2 months, I do master classes, free master classes for people to come in and just experience a taste of what this transformation can feel like, and what give them possibilities that they may have not ever thought were there. And I love it because that's when I really get to talk to people, meet people. It's in my heart always to get to know them. And but my biggest goal always is for people to realize their deep worth as well, and to live into it.
Yeah, I love that. Did you say, I'm just curious because you said you've gotten more and more into public speaking. Do you have a
Mhm.
YouTube channel with some of those talks also?
Not yet, and I hope to have that eventually for us, but as of right now, not yet. But I do hope to eventually have that. I do lots of mini talks in my Instagram and in my LinkedIn. You'll get mini ones like that, and then my hour long. Some of them are 60 minutes or 90 minutes of my master classes. And if anybody ever wants one of my master classes, I'm always willing to send it out to them so that they can view what that is like. I have workbooks that go with it so that they can actually start their transformation from that day forward. So please reach out at any point. And I also offer discovery calls if they really want to see what is possible for them. Complimentary calls to, it's called your next best chapter breakthrough session. And because I believe your next best chapter is just around the corner. You just need somebody to
Yeah,
guide you.
yeah, absolutely. And Nicole, in the bio, it said that a lot of people consider you warm, authentic, and there was another word, it escapes me right now, but I think that's right on the money. You come across as so authentic, so warm, so joyful. I'm not surprised at all. And if you were to leave our audience with just a word of encouragement today as they go about their week, what would you tell them?
Oh my gosh, a word of encouragement. That where they are right now, it may not always seem great, it may not be picture perfect, but what I do believe with everything in my heart is it's all working out for you. Everything is leading you to where you need to be, every moment, all the things, there's a path for all of us, and I believe we're on it. And even though today may not be your best day, it's leading you towards your best day. And so that's I would, and I truly believe that there's so many people that are out there to help you. And so to reach out, to take that brave courage moment, to reach out to people that you resonate with, that you would love to be in the energy of. And because it takes that one decision, that one place, start with that decision of I matter, and I'm gonna get going. And so those are, I guess, two things. Those are two things I would love to say today.
Well, and I love that, Nicole. Thank you so much for being with us today. Nicole said, where you're at now is leading you to a better, I'm paraphrasing, leading to better days tomorrow. And I love that message because it's so in line with the You Are Worthy mission of you're working on something great right now. And maybe you're frustrated in the timing of it, that it hasn't happened yet, or you're bogged down in the details, or it doesn't seem like there's enough traction. But one step at a time, and even as you're waiting for whatever it is, you're worthy now while you're
Mm,
working on you're not less worthy because you haven't achieved what you think it is yet. And remember how much you've already overcome. So I just want to remind you of those great things. Nicole, thank you for being with us today. It's been an honor to have you.
Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you for having me here. And thank you to all the people that are in your audience. Thank you for being here today. I'm grateful.
Guys, just remember as you go about your day, you are worthy. Whatever you've overcome, whatever you've been through in your past, you were worthy then, you're worthy today, you're worthy, like I said, as you're working on the next great thing. Appreciate all of you. Talk to you next time. God bless.